Sound of Freedom is one of those films that can legitimately change this world. So we want to ignite a fire in audiences and open their eyes to the dark reality of millions of children that need our help. Let's make this film a historic event and the start, the end of child trafficking.
Independence Day this year was very symbolic to those involved in the movie Sound of Freedom. Those involved in the project wanted to drive home the point that there are more people trapped in slavery today than when it was legal, and most of it is directed towards children who are used for sex. The movie follows the real-life story of a federal agent, Tim Ballard, who sacrificed his career catching child predators in order to rescue the children themselves. Now, this is an important distinction because all too often, and as I've seen in my own professional life, government work and many institutions aren't geared towards achieving the most good. Red tape, bureaucracy, and institutional self-interest often prevent people, even those with great initiative, from solving core problems in favor of tackling mere symptoms. Now, I abandoned my dream of becoming a federal law enforcement agent because after serving on active duty in the Army and then as a deputy, I realized the limitations of government institutions. I had hoped that I could make a proactive difference by getting involved in Catholic media. My thinking at the time was that I'd be able to highlight problems and offer paths to a solution. Unfortunately, professional-style media has similar deficits as law enforcement. You're either assigned a story or you propose one and then you just move on to the next story the next day. There's little room for developing stories unless you work outside office hours, and professional media is about narrative, not solutions. I cared about Christian persecution overseas and wanted to encourage the public to take more initiative in stopping things like the abduction of Christian girls who were being forcibly married to their Muslim captors in Pakistan.
I was abducted and tied up, and my captor's sister told him to do whatever he wanted with me. Nobody will care.
My efforts were often stymied by higher-ups because the topics that audience engaged with most were church corruption and Trump-style politics. Now, corruption is an important topic, but a chief problem among some Catholic circles is using a rude, crude style in calling out clergy who don't follow what Christ teaches. This has resulted in a movement that is bitter and, instead of offering solutions, engages in trench warfare with evil instead of converting evil to good. Now, being an online troll is not the same thing as being a soldier for God to protect His children. And that's why I left my last job, because I won't be a tool simply to pump up viewership numbers. I don't want Christians to get heated up about evil and think, that's sufficient. No plans, no goals, just anger. If you engage in anger without working towards a solution, then you're not dealing with righteous indignation, no matter how worthy the cause. That's just wrath. I want to be successful with this channel and my website, Lucerna Lux Media, but I don't need 1 million followers. I only want a handful who are willing to give glory to God by taking action. That's why The Sound of Freedom is an important movie for this time. On the 4th of July, millions of Americans popped open a beer and grilled burgers to celebrate the heroism of our ancestors. But only a handful actually engage in heroic actions to protect the innocent. This movie is well worth watching because it highlights the evil subject of child trafficking without showing anything grotesque. It implies to a level where emotional reaction will be elicited, but you won't see anything vulgar. Despite the mainstream media's attempt to push the narrative that Sound of Freedom is some sort of conspiracy theory not worthy of attention, the film has already made over $40 million in its first week in theaters. My hope is that you will want to take action against some very real evils present in the world. There are several options out there, including Tim Ballard's Operation Underground Railroad, but I would also humbly request you consider mine. As I said previously, I've reported on persecuted Christians in Pakistan. I still text one mother whose daughter was abducted, and while I was employed, I was able to help cover the tuition for her younger daughter to attend a private school so that she'd be out of daily contact with the Muslim population there that preys on Christian girls. The story of these Christians is complex, with the beauty of their lived faith contrasting with the darkness of the evil surrounding them. I would like to be able to travel there and film a documentary that can highlight all that. If we can raise awareness, then hopefully even more actions will be taken to protect God's children around the world. I'm well aware of the risks involved with going to a place like Pakistan, but I've taken these chances before, and I hope you will help me to get there. Please go to the link in the description below and offer whatever contribution you can. Please like and share this video as well so that more people have the opportunity to get involved. I'm Trey Blanton. God bless you.